not supposed to happen. But why not? Why can't we dance? Why can't we dance on Law of Attraction Q&A Day 2? We probably should. But I think it's about the time, the amount of time we have together on these mornings. Allowing a few minutes for people to come in the room, people like Dawn and Sarah who are already there, and a couple of others who've jumped in. It's really good to see all of you. Well, I can't really see you, but I sense your presence. So hi, I'm Bob Doyle, one of the featured teachers in the film The Secret, and every Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Time, I am right here for you to answer your Law of Attraction related questions, should you have any. And if you don't have any, I've got plenty for you. And in fact, today I got a pretty big one. In fact, most of the time I think it is me asking you questions. But first, a little cup of coffee. Sip, not a whole cup. I wouldn't do that all at once. First sip out of that one. First sip out of that one. Thought I'd try English, see how that felt. Okay, now, my friends, today is special to me. I've been waiting for this day for quite some time. I'm going to ask you this question, and you can, of course, ask your Law of Attraction related questions whenever you so desire. And I will stop what I'm doing and, well, I won't stop mid-sentence because that would just be rude and weird. I mean, stopping mid-sentence and getting distracted, that's not something we do here on the Bob Doyle Show, so don't expect it. This is a thought that I've probably brought this up on past episodes before. It's something that, it's not going to be the first time you've heard it, but as always, when you're watching this program, I ask you to think about these things a little bit more deeply, really meditate on them. Hi, Denise, good morning. It's so nice to have you here. Meditate on these things because I'm trying to give you some super real value here. Now, here's the question. Would you, and now this is the thing, I know what the knee-jerk reaction answer is. I don't want that one. I want you to think about the truth, not what you should, but what you are, what is true, okay? So, would you rather go through life being happy or feeling right? Now, see, of course you're going to say, well, being happy, of course, Bob. Yeah, that's the answer that you should want. Now, how do you live? What do you hang on to for the sake of being right about things? And guess what? I'm not talking about being right necessarily with other people. I'm talking about being right with yourself. For example, being right about you can't do something. Being right about people will say bad things about me if I try to do this. Being right about things like I'm not good enough. We tell ourselves these things over and over again because our ego gets to be right about it. Because it's so easy to make those things look right. All you have to do is not take action. All you have to do is say bad things about yourself repeatedly over and over again. All you have to do is look for the worst in a situation. Anybody can do that. And if you look for the worst and things like that, you'll find it and you get to be right. Because of course if you say, well, I'm not talented enough to do that. You get to be right because you'll never take action on getting that talented or cultivating that talent. But are you happy? Here's the thing. Can we just back up and take the big picture look? And don't you think we're here to be happy? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not buying any other argument for why we're here. I'm not going to buy into the karma. Well, some people are here to be miserable their whole lives because of what. I'm not buying any of that. Because we are built with all these feel-good stuffs in us. I think we're supposed to have that. I think that's kind of part of why we're here, to enjoy it. And we learn things and we cultivate things about ourselves. We honor our creativity, or we don't, or whatever, to give ourselves this wonderful, unique experience of being happy in life. But most of us are working towards the day that we will allow ourselves to be happy. You know, when everything lines up, when I have enough money, when I get that job, when I star in that movie, when I. So, of course, here's the whole happiness is not a destination, it's a journey or whatever. But the thing is, let's take that cliche and find the truth in it and how it's impacting you. Why are we waiting to be happy? Okay, so let's just say we've got a goal to, I don't know, let's say we've got an internet show, right? And you really want it to catch on, and you want a big audience, and you want that show to be popular and well received and just get a lot of reach and all that other stuff. And you're so focused on when that happens that you're not enjoying the process of doing the show. In other words, you could be happy now doing the thing you love. So who wins this contest? The person who goes through life happy in every moment, no matter what's happening, in the pursuit of their goals, whether or not they reach it, and maybe they won't. Maybe they go through their whole life following a vision, never achieving it, but that vision has pulled them through awesome experience after awesome experience after awesome relationship, the pursuit of the vision, the living of it. Where does this journey take me? Let's enjoy every step of that process. Let's find the happiness in this journey, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Why are we waiting? So if you have that show, make sure you love it like I do. So you get to be happy every day in the pursuit because you're doing things you love. Don't worry about that. It's just a bonus if you get it. And how about the people who work and struggle and suffer and worry their whole life in pursuit of that vision? You know, kind of taking the same sort of action steps, but suffering over it. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. If only I was there yet, then I'd be happy. Doing this thing I love to do. Right? So maybe they get that goal and then they get to be happy. I would guess that a person who got that goal through the suffer and worry would, once they got the goal, would just worry and suffer over, oh my God, it's going to get taken away. I don't really think that if your method of getting to your vision is suffering over it, number one, you probably won't get it. And when you do, it won't feel good. And it'll probably feel fleeting because you've told yourself that worrying and suffering is how you get stuff. So why would you stop that? All right. Oh, look at all these people talking. And I just, whoa, that's not how that's supposed to look. And I remember why it looks like that. So I'm not going to be sharing your comments today. Guys, I've been up since 2:23. I had plenty of time to get this stuff together. All right, so we've got a question. And it is like this. It's from Lisa. It says, so I've got myself into a twiddle. Oh, I like that word. Because I studied with Dr. John DeMartini, your fellow secret mate, who talked about not trying to have a high-intensity emotion, which puts me off happy. He says if we aim for high, the universe will try to center us by sending stuff to bring us down and vice versa. He was talking about aiming for unconditional love instead. I don't necessarily agree with the way everybody does everything in their teaching, just because we were in the same film. I have nothing against John. I don't know John. But I think, and this is coming to me from you. So, I don't know exactly what he said or how he frames it. But what's important is how you're framing it, because that's what you're doing with the information. I can't imagine he's not saying to aim for happiness. I mean, maybe something extreme off the charts that is way out of your comfort zone or something, because then your ego will try to self-correct, and that's what happens. That's resistance. That's normal. Right. Yeah, 2 was early. I don't know. And I was asleep at 10. I don't know what's going on. But I think the joy feels centered, and I'm confusing intensity of emotion with vibration of emotion. Yeah, well, that could be. Even the word intensity of stuff is I don't really know that that's what we're going for. Being in the flow feels different. Intensity is something else, I think. Denise says she doesn't agree with it. Okay, so that's what I'm just having you try to look at. Like, if you've got this vision that you're chasing, are you making sure that you're really enjoying the process of getting there? Because ideally, you're utilizing skill sets and different aspects of who you are in the action you're taking towards getting that vision, right? Because if you're not, what are you doing? So your day should be filled with the things that are in alignment with you doing that vision. And again, look, this is something I'm so guilty on. And we've talked about this on the program as well, is linking everything to money. Is going, well, I love to do this thing, but how's it going to make me money? What if it doesn't? But what if you're happy as a result? What if you're taken care of financially from the other stuff you do? Like voiceover or group coaching programs. And the show you do doesn't have to make you any money, and you get to love your life because you get to do what you love every day. What if? What if you could approach it with that level of detachment? These are just questions you can think about. Leanne says, we're supposed to be happy and abundant and live awesome lives. But how many times are we told that life is hard or it's selfish or arrogant to have that amazing life? Right, exactly. And if that's what you were told growing up, and not everybody was, but if that's what you were told and you believed it because people who you trusted told you that, then it's, that's why you're wired that way, and that's how your reality looks that way. And all I'm saying is, hey, guess what? There's a totally different way, and it's just a choice, and it's all happening up here. It's all about where you're putting your attention, whether it's automatic or not. If someone points out to you that you are in an automatic way of being, you can say, and you don't like it, it doesn't serve you and you know it, you can say, well, that's just how I am, and never change. Or you can decide, well, what would I like? How would I like to feel? What they're saying is kind of true, and I really don't like this way. I don't like it that I'm reacting that way. What would be a better way? What might that feel like? What might that look like? And then, of course, your ego starts screaming, oh, no, that's not who you are. You have to stay this way. And that's where people get stuck. Would you like to get unstuck? As I say this all the time, too, I love repeating myself. Actually, I don't. But sometimes you just have to. I've been doing these Q&As for a long time. In the years, for sure. And the fact of the matter is that people consume these things like most people consume personal development in general. And the statistics of success in personal development are about 7%. People love to consume the information. And it makes them feel good, and it makes them feel like they're doing something, accomplishing something, learning something, growing and expanding. But what are the results out in the world? If you're not seeing results out in the world, it's because there are certain actions that you're not taking. There are certain thought processes that you are hanging on to because you don't know either that they're there, or you don't know how to get rid of them, or you don't have a support system, or you just plain don't have the right information. But you're committed to creating a life you love, so you buy the programs and you watch these Q&As and you watch The Secret 100 million times, and then you go, what? Because so much of the time, it's because you're trying to do it alone. We're just that way. We think that personal development is this thing that we do alone. And I'm going to say this too. I mean, even if you get yourself into group coaching environments, which the group coaching has been around for a long time. I've done group coaching programs of various kinds in the past. Not like I'm doing them now, though. But are your needs being met? Plain and simple, at the end of your time in the coaching that you've taken, are you closer to your vision? Are you more clear on who you are? Have you let go of baggage? Do you feel lighter? Is it working? If the answer is no, or if it's slow, And yet you're still here. You're still watching this. This means you do want something to change. But I'm telling you, you're going to have to dramatically shift your course of action, your energy and momentum and everything. You've really got to get clear on what is stopping you. But that's not enough, because people say, oh, I know what's stopping me, and then they just sit there with the knowledge of what stops them. Yeah, my thing is money. I get almost there and then something happens. That's what happens to me. End of conversation. By the way, this down here, bobdoyleshow.com/group, is not going to take you to a website. It's going to initiate a conversation in your Facebook Messenger. If you are at all interested in getting this stuff done in your life, because look, in my career, I started with digital programs, the Wealth Beyond Reason program, and many little programs around it, and I must have packaged the law of attraction 8 million different ways in the last 15 years. Digitally, get it out there, give people more programs, self-study. The self-study doesn't work statistically. And so I started to play around with group coaching again, because the one-on-one coaching, it's not the juice of group. So we got the group coaching going last year, 30-day segments, and it was phenomenal. It was like, yes, this is why I do this. I'm with the people. They are in action. When they're stopped, we're there to help them. They've got the tools now to get past the resistance, right? So we did the 30-day program several different times last year. And at the end of each one, everybody, well, I can't say everybody, but a large majority of the people wanted more. So we started a 90-day program at the end of last year, and we did that, and that's it. That's how you do it. 90 days gives you enough time to get really super grounded in the basic knowledge that you need to untangle all the goofy stuff you've heard about the law of attraction. And I'm sorry, there's goofy stuff. And people are far too... Look, I love the woo-woo, but people hide in it. Right? They embrace it so much that they want everything to, it has to be magic to them, or this can be done very practically and logically. You don't have to believe in magic, right? But it takes a special structure to get you through it in this way. It needs to be accessible, it needs to be understandable, and you need to have access to the people who are teaching you on an ongoing basis, and not just once a month or twice a month or once a week. So when I do the 90-day program, you have me every single day for 90 days. I am answering your questions in our private group where we all meet on Facebook. I'm posting videos, we're doing coaching sessions, live one-on-one stuff, and we're meeting every week, and we're talking about the principles that actually make this stuff work. This is not another Law of Attraction 101. We may do Law of Attraction 101 on the first week, right? There's people in here who have done it, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. But then it's okay, now let's live it. What's coming up for you? What's stopping you? What's stopping you? What's stopping you? What do you want? What do you want? Why aren't you getting it? Let's get it cultivated. Let's get it cultivated. You got the same story over and over. Let's bust that up, because you're not going to go anywhere unless you do. And if you're self-study, or if you're in a coaching environment where your needs are not being tended to, you're not going to get moved past it, and you're not going to have the result, and it's going to be another notch in the belt of this stuff doesn't work. It does. But if you go in thinking, I know all this stuff already, I've tried this and this and this and this, and I could, everything you say, I could say, well, what about this? And probably find out why it didn't work for you. You know, but picking up the books and watching occasional YouTube videos, and even coming to these live Q&As, because even though I do try to answer your questions as much deeply as possible in the time that we have together, I have to get to know you. I need to know about your past. I need to know the stories you tell yourself. I need to see how they show up in an everyday situation. I need to see when life shows, like you can say one thing one day and be in a really great space. The next day you've spiraled. Why? Who's going to find that out for you? You? You're in it. everyone around you sees, and that's just how you are. You've got to have somebody else or a whole group of people reflecting back to you and going, we love you, which is why we want you to look at this thing you just did, thing you just said, this conversation you keep having, your rationalization for not taking action. Because there's group coaching where there's a bunch of strangers in a group that meet on a teleconference on an occasion, and then there's what we do, which is, and every single person here, without exception, who has done these groups will tell you for sure that it's a family in there. And in some cases you feel safer with these people than you do your family. And the support and the acknowledgement is, you know, you can't put a price on it. That's the cliche thing to say, but you can't. So we are opening up this 90-day group again, probably to start near the end of March, because I'm moving to Vegas, so I've got some stuff to do. So we've got a few weeks before we start. And here's the other thing. If you had looked at this before, because I have kind of teased it, if you go back to the actual page, this right here is not the web page for the group coaching. It initiates a conversation with you about it to ease you into it or whatever has to be done if I'm not getting through to you right now. Eventually you'll end up at the page and you'll say yes or no, this is for me or it's not. I'm just, when you do that, if you go to these, if you follow the thing, you're going to hear from the people who are in the group. You're going to see videos. You're going to hear stories. You're going to, the whole thing. There's not much more I can tell you aside from what they tell you. But if you're a person who watches that kind of stuff and just goes, this is meaningless to me, these are testimonials, okay, just don't even. Because that's how you're going to do your life. I got it. Your ego is going to tell you everything's BS except the way you do it, even though it's not working. Okay. Or you could say, hey, that way of thinking hasn't gotten me anywhere. It certainly doesn't make me happy. What if I tried on this other thing? I'm being told I'm going to get all kinds of love and support. I'm being told I'm going to get these tools. And nobody in this room is telling me that that's not true. Oh, look, we've got a big, long question from P. Josette. Hello, Bob. Nice to see you. Nice to be seen. I have a question. I had an intention of manifesting my dream job, and I've been doing all the LOA practices, and opportunities for it started showing up, but sadly, they would all either fail or be taken away from me by someone else. So now I want to keep on believing that it's coming, but it feels very hard when it seems like the universe is teasing me. Do you maybe have some advice? Yes. So you feel teased, and other people, maybe with more experience with the law of attraction or keep going, would just go through these things and go, okay, well, that wasn't the one for me. Next. That wasn't the one for me. Next. Or for whatever reason, I wasn't. They don't have to judge it. They don't have to make meaning to it. They don't have to go, oh, well, that means I'm not supposed to have it. Or this happens every time. Or that means they're better than me. No. You will move into the opportunity that is in perfect alignment with the vibration that you're setting out there. So you stay consistent with that. Opportunities may show up. Things that your ego goes, oh, this is it. I got to have this. And then it doesn't work out and you think you failed. No, it wasn't it. It may have looked like it. But if you're sending a clear signal to the universe and you've got a very distinct vibration around what you want to feel like, what you want your vision to be, you can trust that it will come to you in that way. But you may have a couple of little false starts or things that teach you another layer of lesson. I needed to learn this. I needed to have this experience before I could get to this next one. Thank God I learned this lesson before the real thing came along. It's all in how you think about it, because that affects your emotions around it and the overall vibration, everything. This is kind of what I'm talking about with the whole, are you enjoying the process? Are you happy? But you know, we've learned to think that if you get a no from someone, that it's a failure. It's a bad thing. It could be the best no you ever got. The only thing that would make it bad is if you just absolutely give up and stop because you got a no. You take that no and you go, okay, great. So now I know it's not this one. Bring on the next one. I hope that helps. Genesis says, I went in, why does my browser take me to a T-Mobile site? Okay, so, well, I don't know why it's taking you to T-Mobile. Look, if you want to go, hold on a second. I don't think I have it. I'll just do it right now. I'll go ahead and put it up. Right in front of your face. You're going to watch me type it. BoundlessLiving.com group coaching. All right, now that is the main page. The other link is supposed to get you initiated in a Facebook Messenger conversation. If that's not happening, that's a bummer because it worked for me, and I'll fix it. But that's how you can go if you want in. What I was going to say was if you had gone there before and saw the price, which I was fine with, I've lowered it by a lot, by like a third. Okay? So look. You're getting so much time. You have no idea. At this point, you may think you have some idea. I promise you, you don't. Can I get an amen from my group? I'm just saying, I don't know of anybody else in my industry who does these group coaching programs the way that we do them and have created that kind of energy in there where people have done them multiple times. Okay, people who've done did the 30-day twice and then came into the 90 days. That's not because it's not working. Nobody re-ups for stuff that isn't working. Well, let me just try it one more time. Let me just try it one more time. Now I'm going to try it for 90 days because it didn't work. I got nothing out of those first 60. I got nothing better to do than to throw money at stuff that doesn't work. We literally got amens. I'm sorry I can't show you because of my own failure to plan ahead. Anyway, thank you. Now I'm seeing all of your comments from those who have done the coaching, and I thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it, and I love you all, as you know. Now, look, over the course of the next couple of weeks, I will be talking about this, but I am here to answer your questions, as you saw. When I got questions, I answered them. So just want to be really clear. And what I'm saying, even though, yes, I'm absolutely clearly, in no hidden way, in your face saying, take the group coaching. I'm not hiding it. It's just take it. Because you're gonna be glad you did. If you really want this stuff to work, okay. I'm just saying. But I will keep answering your questions here every Wednesday, and I hope you take the answers, and I hope you like I say, you meditate on them, you implement them, you become aware of some of the thoughts and automatic ways of being, because if there's anything I try to do here on these weekly shows, it is to show you that. What are you automatically thinking? How are you automatically being? In the name of, well, that's just who I am. But if you want to change your life, you're not just changing the outer circumstances. Remember, you're also changing who you are. Hey, did you hear that? That was a little accent from the ukulele. And changing, and that kind of change, that amount of change, that level of change, it takes just a huge level of commitment, and that level of commitment takes support. It just takes support, and you know how I know, and that you know, because if you're not there yet and you've been doing this, at some point you reached a point where you didn't know where to go for the support you needed to either get the question answered, or the nice thing said, or whatever. Well, here it is. Alrighty, guys. Hey, don't forget tomorrow. VR Thursday on the Bob Doyle Show, right here. Excited as always about that. I'll see you then.